The area covered by this film is an elongated triangle between the gate at Brow Lane, Kester Waterfall, and the top of the stone steps at Bury Bottoms. The wood has been managed for many generations, the last two woodsmen being Arthur John Ashworth and his son Alfred, who did the job from 1921 to 1951. The task has recently been taken over by Calderdale Leisure Services. Management involves taking out dead timber, providing conditions for renewal, and maintaining paths. The cat steps form part of the Calderdale Way and were last renovated when the way was created. The stream, called Woodfall Beck, flows over a natural hard stone bed which lies on marine shale before flowing over Kester Fall. It enters the wood via another waterfall over a vertical fault at the bottom of Brow Lane. In January, all the trees are bare and the grass is dead. The only signs of life come from the bracket fungus, which is not edible and grows on the dead wood of deciduous trees. The wood was clear felled to supply timber in the 1914-18 war, when imports were impossible. It was replanted in the 1920s and 30s when owned by Tordoff's Brewery. Many of these trees have now reached maturity, and a carpet of beech seedlings can be seen below. Below the waterfall are the remains of a mill dam which once served a weaving shed. Various industrial relics can be seen nearby. There is strong evidence of an old mill race, probably to feed the weaving shed dam. Initials carved in tree trunks many years ago have become badly distorted as the tree has continued to grow. Evidence that a wood has long been managed is the existence of well-made tracks, of which there are several in Shelf Woods. The tracks provide access for maintenance and were used for the removal of timber. There are a lot of mature sycamore, the bark of which is smooth and plated and multicoloured in bright sunlight. Ivy grows up many of the tree trunks. In March the trees are still bare, and there are still dead leaves clinging to the young beech trees. Ivy, which is also abundant at ground level, grows in loose, humus-rich soil and poor light. Surprisingly, here it is mixed with nettle, which needs good soil, showing how mixed and pocketed the woods are. At lower levels, buds are beginning to swell and burst. Sycamore seeds start to sprout. Wild garlic with its distinctive smell begins to grow from the bulbs which have laid protected during the winter. The celandine is also beginning to grow and flower. Not having had management in recent years, dead trees rot where they fell. Soil erosion and possibly small animals have undermined the roots of this tree. It's not certain whether the meandering course of the stream is natural or influenced by man. These fungi grow directly from the leaf mould near the drainpipe from the old Green Lane Hall Hospital. The woods are a very popular recreational area for gentle strolls and dog walking. With a little observation, the visitor will be surprised by the variety to be seen. The old mill race is more obvious when viewed from downstream, but on the bend in the stream just above, it's unclear as to whether the lintel-like rock is natural or man-made. A proliferation of wild plants grows at the edge of the stream, including herb robert, dog's mercury, and many more. Goat willow and hazel with its catkins grow at the edge of the wood. Wood anemone which open flat in full sunlight are poisonous. This hawthorn shows various stages of development even within the same tree. By April, the bluebell buds are beginning to show, and the grass becomes distinctly greener. The woods provide a home for many species of birds, including tits, finches, woodpeckers and thrushes throughout the year, and a variety of summer and autumn visitors. Bullfinches love to eat new buds. They are also home to foxes, squirrels, rabbits, hare, wood mice, stoats, moles, weasels, bats and hedgehogs. The bulbous roots of the celandines, when used as an infusion, were traditionally effective in curing hemorrhoids. On the lower branches of the sycamore, the leaves are now beginning to show their familiar shape. At the top of the wood is an old filter bed, and here the seedlings of the Himalayan balsam are beginning to develop. The pussy willow is in full flower. This bed is the lowest of a four-tier system which once served the old hospital. By May, the bluebells make a beautiful blue carpet against the bright green of the new leaves, which are beginning to form a full canopy. Young oak trees are growing amongst them. This part-dead sycamore has provided shelter for both a squirrel and a blackbird during the summer. The garlic is now in full flower. The slug is an essential part of the wood, removing debris and breaking it down into compost. The shade of the leaf canopy retards growth at ground level, and the dandelion has already completed its life cycle. In the brighter areas, new beech trees continue to grow. The bluebell or wild hyacinth is native to this country. Picking the flowers does not damage the plant, but treading down the leaves does. However, picking the flowers is still illegal. The bracken is now beginning to unfurl. By late June the canopy is fully formed, and only shade-loving plants like herb robert and red campion will continue to flower. In the middle of the wood is a bog, which has recently been measured at well over 6 feet deep, which, unusually, takes it well below the level of the stream bed. This evenly spaced line of sycamore, all the same age, is further witness to a managed wood. The Himalayan balsam continues to grow, and the flower buds form. Cuckoo spit protects the larval stage of an insect. Dead trees play an important part in the woodland environment. Surrounded by the lush greenery, this one is home to a greater spotted woodpecker, a year-round resident. Foxgloves grow to a height of 1.5 metres. The beech tree reproduces by way of beech nuts in their prickly protective cases and provide an early autumn food. Invasive Himalayan balsam is driving out the native meadowsweet. In the shade the ferns flourish and the flowers open on the balsam. When things get too dark, Herb Robert chases the light. Balsam even begins to grow in the bog. The Latin name of the foxglove is digitalis, the same name as the drug which is extracted from this highly poisonous plant. Insects pollinate the wild blackberry and flowers in the meadow. Near the steps grow nipplewort and hogweed. Dead elms provide accommodation for more insect life. Back in the filter beds, the balsam is well over 6 feet high. It produces a hormone which suppresses the growth of other plants to reduce competition for its own reproduction. The leaves of the hedgewoundwort have antiseptic properties. Care must be taken near the mature nettles to avoid being stung. Rosebay willow herb grows at the edge of the wood and on waste land. A spider has built a tunnel web in the bark fissures of this old tree. Fungi grow around many trees in the wood. These feed on dead and rotting timber and return the nutrients to the soil. There are many different varieties. Beneath the bark of dead trees is much insect life, and the mycelium of the dreaded Dutch elm disease. Rustweevil attacks the leaves of sycamore trees. Lords and ladies, or cuckoo pint, is a lime-loving plant, unusual in this clay soil area, but it's growing next to an old limestone track. By mid-August there is a profusion of meadow flowers around the wood's edges. Now in September the elderberries are ripening and the first leaves beginning to turn. The grass begins to die back and the canopy has already begun to thin. The seed pods of the balsam are now ripe. When dry, they explode violently, scattering their seed over a wide area, justifying another common name, jack-in-the-box. As the tree withdraws the goodness from the leaves, they slowly dry, change colour, and fall. Other fruits, including hawthorn and blackberry, are also ripening fast. By October, there is a carpet of leaves which forms a layer of mulch and compost to nourish the soil for the next year. The canopy is thinning visibly, and the squirrels are stocking up their food supplies for the winter. Golden brain is another fungus which grows on deciduous wood. By Christmas, the trees are completely bare, and the snow once again descends upon our wood. However, it doesn't deter the locals from continuing to use it as their recreation area. The holly gives one final show of colour. Throughout the year we have experienced the colours, sounds and diversity of the wood, and the changing character from season to season, from the depth of winter to the verdant green of summer. A wood is a place to play, to discover, or just to stand and think. Over the centuries, the wood has been used for many different purposes. For the growth of herbal remedies, production of many different types of wood, and currently for recreation. For all these purposes, it requires careful and considerate management, and needs us all to help look after it.